Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. I'm still playing with this lovely Tracy Evans new stamp set TE8, which is called Malva. I absolutely love these flowers. I think they're just beautiful. And I've done some preparation for this to start off with, because otherwise it would take too long. And I know some of my videos have been a bit long. So I've taken a background. As you know, I make lots of different backgrounds. This was a salt technique, I think, that I did quite a while ago. It's got sort of pinks and things. So any backgrounds that you are making, I always have a whole pile of them. And then I have just stamped using VersaFine Clair Verdant, which is a lovely green. I've used this stamp, which is the one that's got the garden on and some text and stuff, and I've just stamped it 5 times across there to give a bit of a an interest on the background. Now we're going to take the words, which says the Malva, commonly called mallow, genus of annual, biennial and perennial plants. So I thought, because this is quite sort of peachy and quite green, I want earthy tones. So I'm going to use soft suede for this. And I want some of it to sort of come right up onto the edge. So I'm just going to ink this up on here. And I'm just going to take it right up on the edge here. And it's just going to give a little bit of texture coming in down on, says me. I don't always get it straight. It depends how well I've lined it up, so that's better. And I'm just doing it so that it comes in over on the corners. And we'll take a little bit more down this side, because I kind of like that part. And I might do some more up on here. I quite like the text because it's quite small, so it's not going to over balance everything, but I quite like it just going through. I like the different colour tones of it. And that, I think, works beautifully. So that's given another little bit of texture in there. I've just got a little one left on here, haven't I? Shall I just pop him here? There we go. So that's given that, which just adds a little bit of texture on there. I think I want to bring those edges in a bit, though, because I'm going to carry on using this. Let me just give this a quick little clean up. I'll put it away later, and I'm going to get a sponge dauber on this, and I'm going to take some of this lovely brown. Let me just open it up and get a brown out. That's the brown we want. Put that back on there without shaking the camera, and I'm literally just going to get some brown in on here. And then I'm going to use the mat, and I just want to bring it in on the edges here, because it's just going to bring that in a little bit, because it's quite pale. So if you start on the corner and sort of bring it up, I don't want it overly dark. I just want to have it, just bring it in just a little bit. So just trying to take it in so that it just comes up in on the edge here. And let's bring it round on this bit. So corner first, and then bring it in from the corner, because then you don't damage it. Now this is watercolour paper, so you have to be a little bit more careful with it, because otherwise it's not quite as robust as ordinary cardstock. For the edges, you know, they can fray just a little bit, or just get a little bit wetter. Okay, so we're nearly there. Just going to take this top bit, and in like that. Okay, so now just going to go over the actual edge part so that has the dark bit in. In fact, I probably will, just thinking, I'll probably just edge it with a Posca rather than doing a lot of it with, let me just move that out of the way for now. Let's put it on that, put it over there. So that's given the back. I still need to bring it in a bit more, so I'm going to take my Poscas and I've got to decide, do I want, I think I'm probably going to do it with gold actually, because I don't want it to be too dark. Do I want it black right round the edge? It's difficult, isn't it? But I probably do want black, because then that will really frame it, won't it? So give it a shake and we'll do that edge first, then I can clean my area. So I'm just going to take the pen and just come down right on this edge. Okay, turn it round. And just come down on this edge. It's a great way of doing it. Now you can mat and layer, and sometimes I do, but using a pen, you can do it in a variety of colours, and it reduces a layer on your card. And I think we're all experiencing the cost of cards now to post. Postage is going up yet again in the UK. So, you know, it's not as cheap as it used to be to send cards. So if you send a lot of cards, you want it to be the lowest amount that you can get away with postage wise, because otherwise sometimes just literally putting an embellishment or something on and you end up with your post being sort of twice as much as it should be. So I'm aware that it's costing everybody a lot more to post things, and I'm always grateful for all of the mail that I receive from various different subscribers. You know, it's absolutely lovely, and I belong to quite a few different swap groups and things over on Facebook, so it's nice to have all of that. Okay, so that I think gives us a nice sort of background to work with. I'm just going to think, I think I'm going to put it straight onto white actually, because I think that will give it the brightness I need, but I might tone it down a bit with something. We'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to bend it back a bit. Now, what am I going to put on it? Now, I have got this hair. Now, you know that I was working on hairs and doing, I'm actually going to put him on here so you can see him more clearly. If I bring him up a bit, you can see all of the colour and definition and stuff on there. So I thought I would show you how to do one of those once we finish the card, and so, you know, watch to the end, because I will then show you how to make one of these. I know I showed you some other ideas, but this is slightly different. So he's going to go down in the bottom like that, because I really like him sort of there. And then these are the flowers from the mallow that I've just literally coloured in what colours did I use? Just some peachy tones that I've got from some of my alcohol markers, and I thought that I would just sort of probably put that down, maybe just up in on here. I think down like that will work. And I've got some, which I've got in on something else, which I've done. I've got some yellow of the chevrons, which I thought might be quite fun. So I might actually put a couple of the chevrons just coming through out of the back of here. And I can always just put them together or just leave them apart a bit, because I think that might look quite nice. Even though those are done they're done just in a really nice colour. And what I might do is to just put them, let's put a couple down this direction. So we've got one coming this way underneath, one coming that way underneath. Need to just take it up a bit, don't I? So I quite like the look of that chevron, so we'll have one here and one sort of there. Take this one up this way and this one up the other way. Now the chevron is on, because I know somebody's going to ask me. I'm just trying to work out which one it's on. It's on this one. So this is TE6 branched heart, and it's the chevron down here. So all I did was just stamp it in the yellow, cut it out, because then it allows me to just have it in different amounts. So I'm going to take that there, because I think that works quite nicely, and I might just put the flower in on the center of the chevron on there. Or does that look a bit too contrived? It probably looks a little bit too contrived, doesn't it? Let's just try and bring it down a little bit and maybe just sort of tuck it in. I think that's going to work fine. So let's start putting some of these together. So the chevrons are going to come, to get myself some glue. So I'm going to put one of these down on here. Get some glue in. And I can just make sure that this comes down from here straight. So we'll take this one to here. So we know that that's going to come nice and straight. And then we'll put this one in over the top. These are lovely, these chevrons. I'm going to do some other cards and things with them, because I think you can do so much just with a chevron. And I'm leaving a little bit of a space in between this as well, because I want to just have it so that we've got a nice bit of space. Okay, that's that one. Now I'm going to turn it this way so I can then get those straight. And we're going to take this one, then I'm going to put this one in on here. So again, I want to make sure the gap between the edge is about right. So like that. So I've looked at the gap on that one, and I eyeball it because it doesn't need to be completely accurate, but you want it to sort of mirror one side to the other so that it looks as if it's fairly uniform. And then this one with the same sort of gap in between, and just put it that way. So having done it that way, you know that when you turn it, it's virtually straight. So I like that. I'm going to put this flower in on here. Now, which way round? Do I have the dark at the top or the dark at the bottom? It's difficult to tell actually, isn't it? Could go all the way round. I think I need to have the dark at the top on here like that. So let's give this, come on, some glue. And then we can put this down. And we want the dark at the top, and then this is going to come so that it comes in between on here on these like that. So I've just got a little bit coming through onto this chevron like that. Now I need to put the hair in, and the hair's going to come down here on the bottom because I really like him. And what I could do is I could put something behind him, but I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to have, it's going to have quite a lot of glue on here because he's built up quite a lot. And as I say, I will show you at the end exactly how I made this one, and we'll make one so you can see how to get, I did in my last video, if you go back, different ways of embossing over, you know, really nice backgrounds and things, but this sort of takes it just to a little bit of a different level and is another way of doing it that will be quite fun to do. So lots of glue on there. You can see how he's bending a little bit, but once I've stuck him down, he should be fine. So I'm having him down at the bottom, and I want, whoops, stick onto here. I want to make sure that these ears come right in. I might have to bring him in just, no, he'll be all right like that. Okay, so I'm literally just making sure that he's going to lie nice and straight and flat, and there's glue on there. And another way of doing it is turn it over and give it a rub on that side, and then you can make sure that he comes flat. So you can see on there, I might have to just add a little bit more glue, but I think that that'll be all right. But you can see on here that real lovely texture of this hair. I think he's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now I just want to add a couple of these little flowers in on here, but I don't know whether to put them down on that side or up on this side. I think probably maybe just down like that. Not sure. I think I might. I think that'll work. I don't really want to cover it up too much on here, and I just wanted the three, so I'm going to put this one just sort of maybe covering up that. I'm just going to glue them down because otherwise I'll be faffing about forever. So I'm just going to put this in like this, and this one can go in on here. So I'm just going to have it down sort of about there. So I don't want it to be over the top too much. Now, do I put the other one in? No, I'm going to have it down this way. Like this, and we can have this just sort of coming off in that direction. I think will work. So that comes in over the top of there, which is fine because it's building up those layers. And then, excuse me, I want to just put a little sentiment in on here, and I might do if I've got any spring left. I quite like spring. Don't think I've got any spring. I might even put just March or something on there. Let me have a look and see what I've got word-wise that I'd put on it. I'm just having a look through to see which one I will put. So I've probably got a few out. I normally have a few. I have got the one I want on here. So I'm just going to put March because that's the start of spring, isn't it? So let's have March in here. So where have we got March? M-A-R. March. Because then you've got your Mad March hair. Okay, so it actually just says March, but then I suppose you can't really have any more than I think that will work just quite nicely. These are lovely, these ones, because you've got all of your days and months and things like that. So I'm just going to, let me find a small one to put this on. Will it fit on there? I think it will. There we go. And this is going to be, let's just take a little bit of card here because I only need a little bit, and some black ink under here. Let's clear this up. It's quite nice because it's going to come quite dark. So like that, perfect. And then that, I was going to put spring, but I've put spring on quite a lot of things recently, so I think it'd be quite nice to just have March on here, because March is supposed to be the start of spring. And let's just take some scissors and just trim this off. So just a little bit of white showing, like that. And then we can just put this down on here. There we go. And that's going to come in on that one, which is where I wanted that to go. That can go in the bin now. So we've got that for March. We can just put that in on there. Oh, come on. There we go. So let's just put this in the centre of these ones, like that. That's our March. Oh, that wasn't straight, was it? That's just slid down a bit. Let's just get that straight. Come on. There we go. Can't have a squiffy March, can we? Right, that's better on there. And then, do I want it on a white card base? No, I don't. I want to have it on a bit of a coloured one. So let's have a look and see what colours I've got. I want something that will give just a little pop of, oh, I've got this with red on. That might actually, I like things that just have a little bit. Let's have a look and see what that'll do as a background. Will that work? Oh yes, that will, won't it? Look at that. That picks up all of the colours nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to bend this out a bit. Pop this one on like this. Give this a good glue. And again, because it's watercolour paper, I need to make sure that I've got quite a bit of glue in on here. Down on here. Straight across, particularly down on those edges. And then we can put this one in on here, into the centre. You can see how that really just gives it a real pop, just having a dark background on there. Just picks up those colours in on here. That I think looks really good. And what I will do is just find a couple of little, and I know I said about postage and stuff, but I think just to finish it off, I'm going to put just finish this off like that, make sure it's stuck down. I'm just going to put a few, just a couple of little embellishments in the center of here, probably some little pearls or something. I don't know. I'll think. I'm not going to do that now, only because I turned around and said to you I would show you how to do this completely beautiful background on this hair. Sorry, I was just finding it. Okay, so that's what I've done with the hair. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is to just cut him out. So this was done just using some embossing paste, and all I did was to put the stencil, which is it's the hair stencil, which is have I still got it out and on here? I might have actually put it, have I put it away? I'll show you the mouse stencil because it's exactly the same as the hair. Okay, so Tracy Evans Boutiques, and it is, you have the stencil and you have the inside piece as well. So you have two pieces to use. If you look back on the last video, you'll see it. Now, what I'm going to do with this is I'm just literally going to cut it out round on the edge. Now, I've done this one so that there's, I wanted to try and get a little bit of, again, these are backgrounds that I've used that I'm not, you know, completely enamored with, or they haven't been perfect. But as I said, never throw anything away. Keep it, because for this sort of technique, it works really, really well. So we're just going to cut the hair out first of all. And you know, I embossed over the top of the one that I did the other day. So if you look back on this the last video, you'll see I literally just put clear embossing powder over the top. Well, on this one, we're going to be using something different to try and get this really sort of almost like a stained glass look to it, which I think just adds, and you can use any embossing paste you've got. I just happen to have been given some pink, which is quite sort of shiny, and I thought, oh, that'll work quite nicely, and it did. So, you know, you can use any coloured embossing paste that you happen to have, any little dregs of embossing paste, and you can put it on as thick or as thin as you want. This was done quite thinly because I was going to show the background of this through. As it was, it didn't show very well, so I thought, right, excuse me, instead of leaving it as it is, I am just going to do this technique on it. And I think every single one is going to probably come out a little bit different. I don't know. That was my first one. So this will be my second one with you. But I think that it just makes, it's very pretty. And, you know, it just gives another look to this stencil. And you can then have all of these lovely, let me just get this little bit of this foot off. You can then just add all sorts of lovely layers and things to it. So I'm just going to take that round like that. Okay, I don't think I need to use that piece, so that can go. Right, so I'm just going to put this onto a piece like this so that it's not going to, let me move my card out the way so we don't make a mess of it. And this out of the way, and that out of the way. Okay, so we need just a little spray bottle, and all you're going to do is to just spritz it just a few times. Now you can see it'll sit on the top because you've done embossing paste. And then what you do is you get some Brusho. Now, you can get Brusho from all sorts of places. Now I'm going to start with like a yellow, I think, because I just wanted, and all you're going to do is to just tap a little bit over the top. And you can see it starts to just break out in different colours. Now I want a bit of orange. So I'm just going to add some orange on top. Like that. And let's have a look at, this is sort of a greeny one, so it's got different tones in it. But I think it might look a bit quite pretty. Now you can see I'm just tapping it so that it will stay, and then I'm just going to do another little spritz. Can you see how it's sort of all blending through beautifully? And I think that that's really, I might actually just leave it like that because that looks quite good in there. I just move it just a little bit across. You can see some of the crystals haven't quite, that's better, haven't quite blended through. Now I can add a little bit of blue in on here. This looks quite browny because it's almost like just a little bit of blue in on here. And then I'm going to add some red because I think the red will work quite well. Bit up on here. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is just take my heat tool, And I'm going to just pour some of that off because there's a little bit too much on there and it's gone a little bit muddy on that bit, but that I think will be fine. Can you see how it's sort of streaked on there? That's nice. So turn the heat tool on and literally just heat it through. And you get all sorts of different colours and things coming through. Okay, so can you see on this how you've got all of those? That's really rather nice. It's almost like a coppery look to that. I quite like that. I think I might leave it just like that. And then, so I'm just going to finish just drying it. That's extraordinary, isn't it? Normally when things go a bit muddy, you go, oh, I don't really like that. That is absolutely stunning. And I probably would never be able to repeat that, but that's literally just using the different coloured Brusho. Then we just need to, and we can do it while it's wet. I need to take that one, that needs to go into the bin now because I've used it a couple of times. Let's just give this a quick tidy up. I'm going to take a cleaner piece of paper on here, put it in on here, and then I'm going to take my Versamark. Now Versamark is sticky ink, as you know if you watched my last video you'll see, and then I'm just sticking this on top like this. Okay, that's just a little bit, and then take the powder, give that a little bit of powder on here, pick him up, give him a shake off, that on there for a minute, put this in here. Now I build it up in layers, and I normally do, I do at least 2, sometimes more, but you can have a look and see on each one to see exactly how much you've put on there. So let me just do this straight on here, and you can see how it's starting to then shine. And you can now see these colours coming through beautifully, which is quite coppery looking. In fact, I actually think that this is probably one of the nicest ones that I've done, which is quite good. Okay, so I'm just going to do another quick layer so we can then see finished, and this time I'm just going to put it down. Give it a good old like that, pop it down on there, stick the powder over the top. As I say, it doesn't take very long, but you can just get some beautiful, beautiful looks. And just shake this, and this is just clear embossing powder, which I need to get some more of because I haven't got much. Come on, let's take it out on here, that's better. There we are. So just pick that up, give it a little shake off. I'm just going to put that on there for now. Pick it up, pop it back in. And then we'll just do the last one on here. I'm only going to do 2, but the difference between 1 and 2 is 1 almost looks a bit like orange peel. The second time you do it, it just brings it through quite a bit. Now I've done this, as I said, quite so that it's quite smooth. Hold on, I'm going to have to put this on it, aren't I? So it's quite smooth. You can, when you're doing your embossing paste, you can make it quite sort of what do you call it, textured if you want to. Now you see, for me that looks really almost coppery and very different to the first one. Let me bring this up quite close so you can see. Can you see how beautiful that's come out? And as I say, each one will be slightly different depending what you do. And this looked quite muddy, but for the hair it looks absolutely stunning. So that's how to get that look. This is the one that I did on here, and you can see that this has got far more of the coloured parts coming through because I didn't put quite as much water in. But both of them absolutely beautiful. That would work beautifully on there as well. So you can put it on any card you want. It doesn't stick out very much, but it actually makes a beautiful element. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.